Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaisaudio.com, and in this video I want to share with you 2 ways that I like to use S-Layer for creating sound effects. Now if you haven't checked the description, make sure to check it out. I'll have a free little sound pack in there for you guys to use. I haven't actually created it yet, so I don't know what's going to be in there, but check the description for those sound effects. Alright, let's jump into our project. Alright, so for those who may not know, this is S-Layer and it is a Reactor ensemble. So you do need the full version of Reactor by Native Instruments to load this in here. Yeah, so what it is a sampler engine, and what it does is it layers 8 different samples together, and then you can randomize a whole bunch of different parameters, like which sample it chooses from the sample bank, where the start time is, the pitch, the pan, volume, effects, the envelope, the start, attack, decay, sustain, release, etc. There's so many options, things you can do with this. It's really awesome, really cool. But I don't necessarily want to go through in depth exactly what everything does. What I do want to show you though is how I like to use it. So there's 2 ways I like to use it. For the first way is that I like to load in similar samples together. So for example, for this patch here that I have created, I just loaded in a whole bunch of different like metal sounds, sword sounds, stuff like that, so that I can get these kind of metal hits like this. So now when I have this set up, what I can do is I can just click randomize, and normally what I randomized is, like you'll see here, nothing's selected. It's only these orange buttons here. So it'll only randomize these parameters here. So the samples, the start time, which is not very much, by the way. Like you can see here, I'm only doing it between 0 and 5. The pitch, the pan, and the volume. So if I randomize those, now I can get new sounds. And this is how I like to use it. Now what I can do is I can scan through my samples. So I have it mapped out. I have the wrapper for my sample here mapped out so that I can change the samples. So I can get a whole bunch of different sounds from that, and then I can keep randomizing. And get a whole bunch of different sounds that I might need for my project or for whatever I'm working on, right? So this is one really quick way to do it. And I have a few other different examples here of like loading similar sounds, just so you guys have an idea of how it can work here. So here I loaded some like gun sounds and some impact sounds. So these are supposed to be like gun sounds, so I could probably tweak it up a little bit. I could probably add like a transient shaper or something like entropy, which I sometimes like to use on gun sounds. So and if I randomize it, I might like bring in the pen a little bit because it's kind of wide, and for gunshots you don't necessarily want it that wide. Right, so I can quickly create these impact sounds or these gunshot sounds or layers, and then I can add it with other ones. Just some more examples here. I have some wood sounds. Right, and it works with pretty much anything. Magic sounds. Let's open this one. These are kind of whooshes as well. Right, so pretty much anything that's similar will work really well in here. So in here I put like whooshes, I put like spell sounds, and it just works really well. For the glitches, I had like a whole bunch of like glitchy impact sounds, so I put that in there. It works really well. Guns, same thing. So you get the idea. Like everything sounds really well together. Like when you put it together, you can get these new kind of sounds. All right, let's go into this second way that I like to use S-Layer. All right, so the second way that I like to use S-Layer is by loading in these long ambient files or textured files. So stuff like this here, I'll play it so you have an idea. That's one of them. It's like really weird. I have other ones that sound very different. There are these long like files. They're very long. Like a lot of them are over 30 seconds long. And by the way, if you want to learn how I create these sound files and why I create them, I made a video about it, and I'll probably put it in the cards in the top right corner right now. But yeah, so this is what I'm using here in this section. And now what I like to do is instead of just playing stuff from the beginning here, with the start time, what I like to do is put it to 100%. And then what I can do is I can scan through the files from start to finish, and then I can get different sounds. So let me just show you so you guys have an idea what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to randomize it, and let's just play it. So normally I'm looking for something like an impact sound or some weird sci-fi sound. Now what I can do is I can scan through here. Right, so this can be like a sci-fi sound I could use. Right, so just by scanning through these 8 different layers, I can get like these different sounds. Now let's randomize everything again. I can scan again. So sometimes you can get some like cool impact sounds. And if not, what you can do is you can always like design some. So like I add subsynth here to add some bass to the sound. So that's gonna add a lot of bass. And then maybe something like entropy like this. And then maybe I'll do something like a transient shaper just to get extra punch. Now I can scan through. Right, so you can get some cool sounds. I might also put recenter on here, just so the sound is not so wide. Right, so you can get some these like cool, weird, strange sounds. So they're not usually like when I'm doing this kind of creative work. It's more like for creative games, like sci-fi games or like UI sounds or stuff like that. Nothing that's going to be like nothing that you need necessarily to be very realistic. But yeah, you can get a whole bunch of these like really cool sounds just by scanning through and through these long files, because they're all different and they all vary so much. Like you never know what you're going to get. It's also a lot of fun. And I'm actually going to throw in a third bonus way that I like to use S-Layer, which is basically throwing anything and everything at it and then kind of seeing what comes out. So right now I just imported a whole bunch of like random sounds like whooshes and impacts and I don't even know what. I just grabbed a whole bunch of different sounds from my sound effects folder and I just threw it in to see what comes out, and then let's just play it and see what happens. Right, like right away you get this cool sound. Let's randomize. Cool. Like, let's say I didn't like that one sound right there. I think it's this layer. So what I can do is I can just mute it. Right, I can mute it. Let's try it again. Let's try another one. Right? Sounds really cool. I might actually keep this one because I really like it. Right, so you can just basically throw any kind of samples you have in there in your sample library, throw sounds you've recorded, sounds that maybe you haven't even processed yet or anything, or you haven't even cleaned up, and you just kind of throw it in and see what comes out, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Like a lot of times you won't actually come up with anything. It'll take a while before you even get something good or usable. But I mean, it's just a lot of fun and you never know what you're going to get. So anyways, these are the 3 ways that I like to use S-Layer for creating sound effects. All right, so I hope you found that useful and valuable. If you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know below. And I'm actually curious to know how you guys use S-Layer, if you do use it for creating sound effects. Do you use it similar to what I showed, or do you have some other ways? I'd actually be really interested to learn how you guys use it. So please do share. And if you guys have any other questions, like I said, comments below, and also a description for that free sound pack. I think that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.